Hey guys, you're Marty Geek. In this video, I want to share with all you new Xbox One S owners and owners of 4K TV as well. Because if you have an Xbox One S, it is recommended to have a 4K TV, okay? Especially because of the 4K movies and HDR gaming, which is coming out on some games in the future. Now, one thing that I want to share with you guys is how I got the HDR working on my TV and Xbox One. You know, how they work perfectly together. First of all, what you want to go ahead here is go to settings, right? Go to all settings. Then you go choose display and sound, and right here it says video output. Click right there. Right here, let's say for example, if you didn't get the pop-up message saying that you are connected to a 4K TV, if you want to change to your 4K TV, if you didn't get that message, make sure you change from 1080p to 4K TV if you know that you have a 4K TV, right? So now when you do that, right here, let's go to advanced video settings, right? And right here, all this should be checked. See, you got allow 50 hertz, 24 hertz, allow HDR, which is going to be compatible with some games and a lot of movies, and allow 4K. And on the bottom, like see there in the bottom, allow 3D is not available. Most likely is because the player is not 3D and the TV, I think, is not 3D either. So right here, we're gonna go to 4K TV. This is where you're gonna confirm if the signal, the HDR signal, is actually working properly. Like you see here, this is how it looks. If it looks like this, it's really bad. You know, it's not good. What we're going to read here says TV resolution, your TV supports 4K 60 hertz. There it goes. Now, when it says watching movies and TVs, it says right there, it says your TV doesn't support 10-bit 24 hertz, 10-bit 50 hertz. And it says 4K TV at 60 hertz. However, you know, like see there, there's mark right there. And then it says a big no sign. It says your TV setup doesn't support HDR10 video. Content won't be shown in HDR. Now, over there it says playing games. Your TV setup doesn't support 4K 10-bit at 60 hertz. Okay. Now it also says your TV setup doesn't support HDR10 for gaming. Games won't be shown in HDR. Now, one thing that I found out, right? I said, wait a second, my TV is an HDR compatible TV, right? So what I did is I went to my settings, right? On my TV, I have a Samsung. I forgot the model. I'll leave the model in my screen so you guys can see it properly. I went to my picture settings, right? I went to expert settings. And this on my TV, which is a Samsung, this is where UHD or HDR mode is controlled, right? HDR, UHD color. Hit right there. Right now, my console is connected to the HDMI 2, which is the way that I connected it at first when I first hooked up my Xbox One S to the TV. So I put it there, and like see there, it says off. This one has the option to turn on or off, right? It has the option to turn on and off. Right now, let's go ahead and turn it off because I'm not using it right now. So right here, it says HDMI right, and right now I have no function at all. So I say, wait a second, this doesn't make sense. How can I not change that on, right? So I went to support here. I went to system support, open E menu, right? Open E menu. Then I went to picture and sound. Then I went to picture quality, choosing, blah, 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 adjusting, blah, blah. Then we're going to go to the function that says UHD, HDMI UHD color. Like see there, it says when you set the HDMI connection to on, the TV turns off and then on automatically, blah, blah, blah. Okay. The HDMI connection, blah, 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 and starts explaining you a lot of things, you know, about the HDR things and all that. And then over here it says, on the third paragraph, it says for SUHD models, each HDMI connection can be individually optimized for HDMI UHD color. For UHD models, which is my TV, make sure to connect to HDMI 1, input 1 on the TV. So I realized, wait a second, my TV is UHD, it's not SUHD. The SUHD is a higher model, which costs a lot more. This 4K TV that I have, I actually got it on sale for $649. and it's 4K UHD. It's not 4K SUHD. So I realized, you know what? Let me go ahead to the TV and change the Xbox One from HDMI 2. I change it to HDMI 1, which I'm going to do right now so I can show you guys. I'm going to go ahead and get out of here, right? I'm going to get out of there, and I'm going to get out of here again because we want to start from the beginning again, right? I'm going to go ahead right there, and I'm going to go ahead and change the settings, the HDMI 2 to HDMI 1. Now on my TV, like you see here, there's 3 HDMIs. Only one HDMI is in yellow, and it says, you know, satellite, cable, and all that. So I decided to change the Xbox One, which was connected on 2. I connected on 1, then we go to the TV and see what's going on here. Okay, so here on the TV, we already switched to HDMI 2. Like you see here, it says Xbox One there. Right here, it says HDMI 1. Let's go and click right there. Right, it is on HDMI 1, Xbox One, HDMI 1, like you see right there. So now, let's go ahead here, right? Let's go back again here. Here, this is good. Okay, we got that correct. That's good. Here we get advanced video settings. Make sure everything's connected to allow HDR, right? If you turn it off, the screen will like flicker. Turn it back on right there. Oh, screen will flicker again. Click right here, 4K TV detail. And there you go. We still got the same message, right? But what I'm going to do now is that we could go to the TV, right? I would have to go back to the TV, go to expert settings, go to HDMI 1, because we now connected on HDMI 1. It says off. Like you see there, it says off. Here, I'm going to go and set it on. The TV is going to flicker. It's going to basically like recognize or analyze everything that's connected there, right? Go back again. Boom. Go back again. Here, we're going to get out of here again. If it doesn't recognize it the first time, what I recommend is to restart the Xbox One. I'm going to go ahead and uncheck it here, right? And I'm going to check it again. That way it could trigger recognizing the HDR. So right here, I'm going to go back again, 4K TV detail, and voila, there it goes. Like you see there, now everything is fixed. Everything is check marked. You got your TV supports 4K 10-bit at 24 hertz, at 50 hertz, at 60 hertz, and your TV supports HDR video. In the bottom, we got play games. Your TV supports 4K at 60 hertz and HDR gaming. That's what you want to see. This is the screen that you want to see on your TV. So like you see there, I had to go into the guide, learn that my TV only had HDR compatible or UHD colors on HDMI 1. That's because my TV is the cheapest model of the Samsung Curve TV. It's the cheapest model. But if you buy the SUHD, every HDR or every HDMI connection should be compatible with HDR. But if you don't, just do the same thing that I did, change from HDMI to another HDMI, then to trigger the Xbox One to recognize the TV, to recognize HDR, just go ahead and uncheck it, right? This is the best way. Uncheck it, then check it again. Then right there is gonna trigger it. Like you saw there before, it did. Right now, it does. It says perfectly good. So that's what I went through. That's how I went through, and that's how I finally got it right. And you might have the same problem as well. Like I said before on my prior TV, the Xbox One unboxing and setup, a lot of TVs, for example, the Samsungs, the LGs, the Sony's TVs, they're all compatible out of the box with HDR10. The Vizio TVs, at first, they came out of the box with HDR Dolby. But if I'm not mistaken, they have been getting updates via the assistant software update. They've been getting updates to HDR10. Make sure every HDMI is actually HDR. If it doesn't work, most likely the first HDMI 1 is always going to be like the main HDMI, which every console or every company gives priority updates to. So make sure you change it to HDMI 1. It doesn't matter what TV, change it to HDMI 1. If it works on HDMI 1 and it doesn't work on HDMI 2, then you have a problem. That means you have the same problem I do, that Your TV only supports HDR on one HDMI, and it's only HDR1. And of course, like you see here on my TV, like I showed you guys, make sure you also go to settings, right? And some TVs are gonna say something different here. For example, my TV says HDMI UHD color. Your TV, if it's a Sony or if it's an LG or if it's a Vizio, it might say HDMI HDR color, right? It might say HDR Dolby or 10, whatever. I don't know, something like that. But make sure you read the manual as well. Just like you see here, I went to support, I went to open e-manual. It gave me I found the solution right here. And this is, when I saw this right here, it actually triggered my thoughts and said, wait a second, if my TV is UHD, not US UHD, and it says make sure to connect to HDMI 1. So let's connect the Xbox One S to HDMI 1, and voila, it worked perfectly good. I'm totally happy now that my TV is actually compatible with the HDR10, and it's all good. And later on in the future, games like, for example, Gears of War 4, I think that game is going to be the first game that comes with HDR compatibility. That game is going to look beautiful because HDR, what actually does, it improves the color of 4K. Just because you've got 4K doesn't mean it looks perfectly good. You know, the colors also needs to be calibrated and blah, 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 blah. But HDR improves the blacks. It improves the whites. It makes the white things, it looks even more whiter, and it makes the blacks look very, very darker. The colors pop up a little bit more. So, you know, it improves the color, it improves everything. Another thing to keep in mind, if you want to get like a splitter that's actually compatible with HDR, it has to be compatible with HDMI. That's the thing. And that's the problem with the Xbox One S, that I want to connect it to my home theater, right? To my audio video system, but my home theater system is not compatible with HDR. So I can't use it as a pass-through to my TV. I can't use it like that. I can't connect my Xbox One S to my home theater, and my home theater put the HDMI cable to the TV, because it's not gonna work. Then the signal coming from the home theater, it's not gonna be HDR, so my TV is not gonna recognize the HDR signal, and my Xbox One S is not gonna recognize the HDR signal because it's connected to a home theater, which is not HDR. So I'm gonna leave a link to an HDMI splitter that I saw on Amazon there. You might wanna look up to it and maybe ask the vendor if it actually gonna work the HDR function. You might wanna do that too as well. So guys, thanks for watching the video. If you have any questions, go ahead and ask them, and I'll try to answer them. Till next time, guys.